Hi, this is Mark Salisbury. I'm the CEO and co-founder of TuitionFit, and I used to be a college soccer coach and an academic dean before starting this project a couple of years ago. The idea behind TuitionFit is pretty simple. Let's just make college prices totally transparent so that every family, every student can start their search by knowing what schools fit their budget and have the ability to then know what other prices are being offered and be able to negotiate in real time so they get the best financial fit. You all know the problem, right? Tuition sticker prices have gone through the moon. The amount of student debt is crazy. Underemployment is a huge issue these days. It's gotten worse recently, obviously. And it really matters to be able to find a college that fits your budget and that when you graduate, you're not going to be under a mountain of debt. So the real problem here starts with not being able to find this out at the beginning of the process. You don't find out what your price is going to be until after you've been accepted. And of course, what that means is you've eliminated a whole bunch of colleges before knowing whether they'll fit your budget or not. Last year with TuitionFit data, we saw this in the most amazing terms. You may have seen this in your work as well. We had 18 students from 24 different colleges uploading their offers that they received. These students were all the same. They had the same test scores and the same EFC from the FAFSA. And the price range was crazy, about $6,500 all the way up to almost $52,000 and everything in between. These families were just blown away when they saw this range of prices. And of course, the folks that had ended up trying to pay the high prices were a little pissed. So what are we trying to accomplish here? Well, let's just see if we can replace all the estimates that are out there with the actual prices. Let's see if we can improve the ability to find financial fit and assess value early on in the process. Nobody likes it when they guess what a school's price is going to be, even if they use a net price calculator, any other tools that are out there, and then 4 months later they find out they're wrong. And they've eliminated other schools in the process and wish they could go back and look at that. Third, we got to elevate student agency in this college search process. So many students feel like they don't have any control and they're powerless, same with the families, and so they just sit back and they don't take the initiative. Part of the work that you guys do is really important in helping students learn how to take initiative and get themselves seen and noticed by college coaches. We really need that to happen across the entire college search landscape. And lastly, let's bring the focus back to what really defines college success. It's what you do in college, not where you go, that makes the difference. Every one of us have seen kids come to college with all kinds of accolades coming out of high school. They get to college and it doesn't work out for them. And a lot of times it's because they were all excited about just getting there and didn't realize that once you get there, that's just the start of it. Now you got to make something of this. So how does TuitionFit work? Well, it's really a matter of crowdsourcing the data. So all of those award letters sitting on kids' kitchen tables around the country, they all have the actual prices in them. And with my experience in academia and my PhD, we know how to make sense of an award letter and figure out what the price is of that school. So all we got to do is crowdsource all those award letters by uploading them to TuitionFit's clearinghouse. Then we organize that data by the student type, meaning the student's test score and high school GPA, and the college or university that offered that price. And then we anonymize the award letters. We redact all the private information so that nobody's personal information is exposed. And then we can organize that so that you can essentially look through TuitionFit, and for each student, you get to see all of the comparison prices that other students just like them have received from colleges all over the country. And now you can compare offers, you can see where the better fits are financially, and you've got power to negotiate a better price. So it starts by going to tuitionfit.org, and for students, for families, for counselors, this basic service is free. It's free because it's got to be for every student to use it and for us to have a good comparison data set. It's got to be free to everybody. So students just need to go to tuitionfit.org and they set up an account. They'll provide some basic demographic, some basic academic, some basic financial need information. As I said before, it's just test score at high school GPA, and then EFC, the expected family contribution from the FAFSA. We ask them for their name and address, and we ask them some basic demographic information, race, gender, first generation status. We don't display that information anywhere, but we organize it. It helps us organize it and helps us verify the award letter when they upload it. Then all the students got to do is take a picture of their award letter with their phone, maybe scan it on their printer, and upload the file. Then we redact all the private information. We show it to the user, make sure they're cool with the redactions. Then they approve those redactions, and we calculate the price and put it into the system. Just so you know, this is what our redacted award letters look like. These are two different award letters that were uploaded last year. We just redact all the private stuff so that you know this is an entirely anonymized letter. There's no way you could figure out who got these awards. Then once that's up there, and once the students shared at least one award letter, then you can compare for free. You get to see automatically all the other offers that have been uploaded by students just like you from anywhere in the country. So this is what a display looks like. This is from a student last year. They uploaded 4 award letters, the top 4 there. And then because they shared, they could see all these other awards that are down at the bottom. So now all of a sudden they get to put the prices that they've received in some context. And for this student in particular, she was really looking at the public institutions in Illinois. She had applied to Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. There's no reason why she didn't apply to Northern Illinois, just other than she didn't have time, didn't feel like it, whatever. And then she saw the price difference. She would never have known that without TuitionFit. And she's now saving about $10,000 on college over 4 years. It's a pretty simple idea, but it's the same thing that you see when you use Kelley Blue Book, when you go shopping for a car. We're always able to find the comparison prices and put all this stuff in context. This is the same thing. We're just doing it in college prices. So now that we've got all that data, that's how the data set gets built, and it's seniors uploading award letters. And while they've made some choices, it's also really helpful to have all that information when you're trying to negotiate. It's also really important to remember that lots and lots of colleges are still looking for students, and they're looking for students all the way to August. And coaches at most Division III and even a lot of Division II schools, they're required to meet a certain quota, to have a certain number of kids on their roster because tuition matters. So TuitionFit is really driven by what seniors do. But you see this question on the screen, I only want to look at the schools in my price range. That's the thing that most students and families say when they start the process, when they're sophomores, when they're juniors. And they don't want to look at a school that then they're not going to be able to afford. So TuitionFit allows you to use its data set to solve that question too. And this is what that display looks like. You can now use this tool, and again, this part of it is free, for a student to just put in some basic information about themselves, and then with that slider at the top of the screen, you can move this slider up and down, and that list is going to change based on the award letters we got from last year from students just like that student, and which schools are offering which kind of prices for that student. So the student just plugs in some basic information, and they'll do an EFC estimator, because they're probably not doing an EFC yet for a FAFSA yet, but you can do an estimator from the FAFSA forecaster site, from College Board site. Y'all probably know a number of those that work. And then you can filter by price range, because you now know the need and merit of that particular student. Now you see at the bottom, premium access for full pricing display of actual award letters. It's $50 a year. That is the price that we're offering. But for your students, there's a coupon code, and it's NCSA 10, the number 10, off, OFF. and we'll send that to you. You'll make sure you have it. But if you use that, this makes this even better for your students. Now what they get, instead of just seeing the list of schools and that's it, with that coupon code, gets them to premium access, they can see all the actual prices. They can see the grants and loans in each of these packages. They can see if any of these packages have a one-year scholarship in them, which a lot of them do these days. And people need to know that right out of the gate so they don't get themselves caught. That's all from the last year's data. And then they also get to see the list of schools in their category when they get uploaded in real time. So compared to just seeing a list of schools, but knowing they're only in certain price brackets, to seeing the actual prices of every one of them. And with that coupon code, it only costs your students $39, and that's for a full year of data. So it seems like a pretty good way to save folks the trouble of looking at schools that they ultimately wouldn't be able to afford. In the old system, they would never know that. This way, they'll know that right out of the gate because they'll have this information from TuitionFit. So you can find demos on the TuitionFit site for actual how-tos for each of these things, for signing up as a student, signing up as a counselor, how to get the free data, how to get the premium access data, and how to upload a letter. They're all at tuitionfit.org/learn-more. We're constantly trying to make this a better tool. This has been a really fun project, but it's pretty young. We've only been around for over a year now. The excitement about this thing has just been amazing because everybody wants to know what the actual prices are and have the leverage to be able to negotiate and make sure that the school they go to fits their budget. But as you're using this, if you have questions or you have thoughts or your comments, please don't hesitate to email me or give me a call at my Google Voice number. I'd love to hear from every one of you, and we can talk through anything that you think might be helpful. A lot of the things that we've added have been because of people's suggestions. So thanks very much. I really hope you get a lot out of this tool, and I'll look forward to chatting with each of you someday.